What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, a flu test, or a test for some other virus, I hope you have tested negative. If you did test positive for any of the viruses, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long-term issues and no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Sunday edition of the Virus Update for Sunday, May 18th, 2025. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do the daily virus update on all those viruses that can make us sick. There's a lot of viruses out there, and things are constantly changing with these viruses. Therefore, you need to be informed of what's going on with these viruses. That's what I do here on my channel each and every day. So if you want to stay informed, subscribe down below. If you like today's virus update, give it a thumbs up. That helps me in the YouTube algorithm. Let's try for at least 150 like button hits today. Of course, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. Alrighty, we do have some news stories to take a look at today. Then we're going to do things related to wastewater and a few other things along the way. This should probably be a 20-minute video today because I do want to spend several minutes on wastewater. First off, in Belize, more measles cases have been reported. Yes, more measles cases have been reported there, and it looks like the total number of cases in that area is now up to 7. So we're watching measles cases. They are still rising in many different places around the world. Hey, southern Alberta is also seeing a spike in measles cases as well. The number of patients suffering from measles grew by 29 cases in southern Alberta Friday, a daily increase greater than what the entire United States recorded in a week. Yeah, we didn't have a big increase here in the United States. Good news, but is it actually believable? The rise brings the total number of reported cases in Alberta to 438, most of which are concentrated in southern Alberta, where almost 300 people have come down with the disease. Yikes, that's not a good thing whatsoever. Now we move over to this. Gail Kim withdraws from NWA Crockett Cup due to illness. So apparently this is related to wrestling, and I had to look this up. Apparently this was supposed to take place right here in my city, Philadelphia. Well, guess what? The person is experiencing severe symptoms resembling the flu and COVID-19. Wonder if they took a test for either of those viruses. I honestly do not know. Mexico, Chile, and Uruguay halt poultry imports from Brazil after bird flu outbreak. That's right. They are now dealing with a bird flu outbreak right now. And because of that, they are halting poultry imports from Brazil at this time. All right, moving on to some really good news. If you've hanged around this long, you're going to like this news. Well, for those who want it. FDA approves Novavax COVID-19 shot, but with unusual restrictions. And keyword, they say unusual restrictions. It actually does not say in the article what the unusual restrictions are. Been unable to find them. It sounds like they have not released what those unusual restrictions are, but I know there are several people that don't want Moderna, don't want Pfizer, and would rather have the Novavax vaccine. I've actually been waiting for that myself. And, yeah, it has finally been approved. I don't know when you will be able to get that. But here's the deal. Late Friday, the FDA granted the company Novavax full approval of its vaccine for use only in adults 65 and older, or those 12 to 64 who have at least one health problem that puts them at increased risk from COVID-19. Well, I can name 2 of my own. One being asthma and 2 being long COVID. Asthma would probably be what gets it for me, since I am between the age of 12 and 64 years old. So, yes, Novavax, it is now available for those who want it in those age groups. So if you have a health issue between 12 and 64 years old, or you're 65 years and older. I know some people don't want to hear about vaccines, don't want a vaccine. I'm just a messenger here. It is now going to be approved and soon be available. Soon you'll be able to get it eventually soon. Hopefully more details will follow in the coming weeks. All right, starting off with our first bit of wastewater for today. This is the wastewater scan weekly data. This is the respiratory weekly update for SARS-CoV-2, and they're putting the United States. This is all for the United States right now. In the medium category for COVID. Other respiratory viruses, they monitor RSV, influenza A, influenza B, HMPV, EVD68 are in the low category nationwide and not in seasonal onset at this time. All right, COVID-19 nationwide, SARS-CoV-2 is in the medium category with medium concentrations and no significant trend over the last 3 weeks. COVID-19 variants in sequencing data, we're not going to really go through this. They don't show the LP.8.1 variant in there. Influenza nationally, flu A and flu B are in the low category and not in seasonal onset. About 14% and 39% of sites are in seasonal onset for flu A and flu B, respectively. H5 markers have been detected in 27 states. You know, H5N1, bird flu. 6 of them are in the West, 7 in the Midwest, 8 in the South, and 6 in the Northeast. RSV is in the low category nationally and not in seasonal onset. About 14% of sites are still in seasonal onset for RSV. HMPV is in the low category nationally because it is not in onset. 48.5% of sites are now in the seasonal onset for HMPV, which is near the national onset threshold. So you can see here, overall, as we've been in 2025, there's been a gradual trend upward for HMPV, and hopefully we'll see that drop pretty soon. Norovirus is in the medium category, and it looks like there is a downward trend for norovirus at this time. More on wastewater in a little bit. In case you did not know, we do have a website where I archive things. It's datareport.info. Oftentimes I'll put the news stories of the virus updates in there. I'll make a post for that. I'll probably do a post for today's later on. If you're looking for anything in relation to COVID studies, hey, we have a big section on that. And matter of fact, long COVID studies, it's about to hit 100. May do so this week. We'll see. Taking a look at this, the viral activity levels in Canada. Let's refresh this to make sure it's up to date. COVID-19 is low, flu A is low, flu B is low, and RSV is in the low category at this time. Taking a look at what is going on now when it comes to air qualities in the United States. Skipping over birds and migration. I think we may be putting that to rest pretty soon. We're past the peak. We'll see. We'll probably show it a few more times this week. Taking a look at air qualities. We do have a few concerning areas. The southeast, little bit concerning. But the mid-south in Texas, yeah, a lot of orange showing up there. Please, if you have asthma, COPD, or any type of breathing issue, be very careful in that area. California as well, a lot of yellow. Central Plains, some yellow. So yes, there are some concerning areas today. Even in portions of Canada, we're seeing some problems today. Up there in western and central Canada and Mexico, you're seeing some reds show up there. I'm going to have to investigate for wildfires just to see if there's anything going on down there. All right, taking a look at what is going on, let's take a look at heat-related illnesses, and we do need to refresh that. While we're waiting for that to refresh, let's pause and take the hydration break, shall we? Alrighty, doesn't that feel much better? Wow, this is taking an awful long time to load. I can tell you in some places in the south, it has been a bit warmer, and in the southwest as well. So in some of those yeah, here it is. We can see moderate heat-related illnesses. It's starting to show up, and we do even have major in parts of Louisiana and Texas at this time, even in parts of North Carolina. Please make sure you're keeping yourself hydrated with plenty of water in those areas where there are increased heat-related illnesses, because that means the heat levels and humidity, it is starting to cause issues for some people in those areas. In Pinellas County, Florida, we do have a few calls. Mind you, we're a bit early with our update. You can see here it's almost 10:30 a.m., but we can see here stroke is showing up a few times, sick person, and it's only 10:30. That means it could be headed towards a busy day in that area. Philadelphia had a busy day yesterday. 827 EMS incidents were reported. Taking a look at what's going on in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, and we can see here, there's a few calls going on right now, probably about normal for Sunday, but I'm seeing Lower Providence here, and cardiac arrest is showing up. That's not a good thing. Taking a look at what's going on in Chester County, Pennsylvania, also in southeast Pennsylvania, and look at this, Coatesville City, another cardiac arrest. That's kind of more towards the western portion of the county, almost to the western portion of Chester County, but heart problems showing up several times Yeah, that's not good to see whatsoever. Let's take a look at what's going on with the hospital situation. Sunday morning is usually not too busy for the hospitals in Pennsylvania, and I'm seeing just a few issues going on here. I'm seeing a behavioral health diversion at Lehigh Valley, Hextown, Oaks Hospital. I'm seeing something going on down here in Mainline Riddle. That still has not updated from April, so I don't know what the deal is with that. Taking a look at what's going on when it comes to wastewater in Pennsylvania, and I did something a little bit different today. I opened up another window so you can actually see what happens on the chart here, because oftentimes when I have it in the tab within the one browser window, my camera often blocks that out. So in Pennsylvania, state as a whole, very low levels of COVID at this time, and you can see it is still dropping, but we do have a few wastewater sites that are listed in the very high, or excuse me, listed in the high category. And take a look up this one, up near Bradford, Pennsylvania. This is McKean. And we can see here, COVID and wastewater. It has gone up slightly in that area. Taking a look at what's going on in the Pocono Mountains, that's going to be a busy area come next weekend for Memorial Day weekend. So, yeah, and COVID is already rising there once again. Not good to see that. Let's take a look in southeast Pennsylvania. You can see Abington, Montgomery County, not far from me, is still elevated for COVID at this time. Taking a look at what is going on up in the Pottstown area of Montgomery County. Hey, very low levels of COVID going on there right now. And in Norristown, also, take a look at this. We do see that levels, they're not rising at this time. And then let's go out to the western portion of the state. Westmoreland, see, not rising there. Maybe just a very slight rise. The latest variant in control in Pennsylvania, LF.7. Yeah, how about that? It is not the LP.8.1 variant. And then taking a look at this, you can see here, when it comes to influenza A at this time, influenza A is very low, and RSV is also listed at very low at this time. Taking a look at what's going on in New Jersey with the hospitals today, and we can see here that Inspira Medical Center Mannington still has a specialty issue, and University Hospital does have a psychiatric issue at this time. New Jersey now for wastewater, we can see that COVID-19 was dropping on the most recent update. Influenza A and Influenza B, let me see, can I change myself? There we go, is rather low at this time, and we're also seeing lower levels now of RSV as well. They're all dropping at this time, which is some good news. And we can see here, Influenza B, not quite back to the baseline just yet, almost there. Moving on now to Florida. Take a look at this. Yeah, this is not good whatsoever. This is actually rather concerning. Take a look at what's going on in Florida. Now, I don't know. Is it a big deal to go to Disney on Memorial Day weekend next weekend? I don't know. You tell me if you know about that down below. But take a look here. South Orange County. Yeah, the wastewater for COVID's been trending upwards. Southwest Orange County trending upward. Northwest Orange County trending downward a little bit, as is Eastern. But mind you, Eastern did have a rise before that. So levels are becoming elevated once again. And where you see this purple line, which is South Orange, yeah, that's actually starting to get quite high. And, well, Southwest Orange, that's starting to pick up the pace as well. So that's something we're going to have to continue to watch. All right, let's take a look at what's going on with wastewater in Chicago. And in Chicago, we do see COVID is dropping at this time. RSV, what's that doing at this time? That was dropping. A little bit of an uptick in the last week. Influenza B at this time starting to drop, still elevated. And Influenza A is still elevated as well, and that is starting to drop at this time. All right, let's take a look at emergency departments diagnosed with COVID. People showing up to the emergency department diagnosed with COVID. You're going to see a few here that are not so good. The majority of these are okay. United States as a whole, dropping. Alabama is dropping. Alaska is dropping. That's some good news, because remember the wastewater site there was starting to rise in Anchorage. Arizona is dropping. Arkansas is dropping at this time. California, slight increase. There's one of the places seeing an increase. Colorado dropping. Connecticut, ever so slight increase, believe it or not. Delaware is dropping. D.C., Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, dropping. Florida is still dropping at this time. Georgia is dropping. Guam is rising slightly. Hawaii has started to rise once again. Very noticeable for that. Idaho, just a slight increase once again. Illinois is dropping. Indiana is dropping. Iowa is dropping. Kansas is dropping. Kentucky, Louisiana, all dropping. Maine is dropping. Maryland is dropping at this time. Massachusetts is dropping. Michigan is dropping. Mississippi, still dropping. That's good. Montana, looks like it's bouncing around a little bit there at the end. Very hard to see. I think that's still dropping, but it looks like it's a little bit uncertainty at the end there. Nebraska is, we'll say it's holding steady. Nevada is starting to rise. And remember, epidemic status was likely increasing there this week. New Hampshire is ever so slight rise at the end. Concerning because Memorial Day weekend is coming up. New Jersey is dropping. New Mexico, slight rise for you. New York State, still dropping at this time. North Carolina dropping, but that drop is slowing. North Dakota, slight rise, and then it did level off at the end. Ohio is dropping. Oregon is dropping. Pennsylvania is dropping. Rhode Island is dropping. South Carolina starting to slow with your drop at this time. South Dakota is dropping. Tennessee is dropping. Texas is dropping. Utah is dropping. And Vermont is holding steady at this time. Virginia is dropping. Washington State is dropping slightly. West Virginia looks like you're starting to level off. And Wisconsin is dropping. And Wyoming, nothing reported. I don't think we mentioned Missouri either. There's a few states that are not on here, or if they are on here, sometimes they do not report. Taking a look at the CDC wastewater page, and we're just going to go scan this region by region. This is for COVID at this time. And that is what we are most concerned about now as we head into the summer months. The other viruses still can happen, but they happen less now than they do in the wintertime. COVID, well, a wave of that can happen any time of the year. Taking a look in the northwest first, we do see a lot of light blues, and that is relatively low still. Once you get into the lighter shade of blue, you're starting to approach moderate levels of COVID showing up in wastewater, and we're close to that in some of these wastewater sites in Washington. And you can see Snohomish, that site hasn't updated. Let's see here. Yeah, but this one did. Now this one is rising. 37,650 population. Oregon, your wastewater levels are very low at this time. That is good to see. And when we take a look at all the wastewater sites here across the country, we see there's just only, I believe, one red wastewater site, and that is in Texas. And there's just a few orange sites. Good to see those levels still low. Also good to see less of those gray sites, though there's still far too many. Gray represents on this map sites that have not updated, and unfortunately that is an issue. Some wastewater sites not updating. We take a look here in the Midwest. We do see here a lot of dark blues and a few lighter blues. Things are not bad, just only a couple orange wastewater sites. There's one near Cincinnati, and then we go up to Minnesota, up to near the Twin Cities. There's an orange site up there as well, and in western Iowa there is also an orange site at this time. Few orange sites in the Northeast, but again, not terrible at this time. Memorial Day weekend's coming up next weekend. Will that cause a wave? I'm sure someone's going to ask. Honestly, I don't know at this point. We'll just have to see what happens. The only thing it may do is help one of those newer variants, and I can pull up the variant tracker right here. Remember the XFC variant? The only thing it may do may help speed up the process of that variant growing in the United States. So will that mean more cases? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Now taking a look at wastewater scan, where we will take a look at a few individualized wastewater sites that may be concerning when it comes to COVID. Taking a look just northwest of Houston at Woodlands, and at 70,000 population, we can see here COVID at this time. The most recent update, it was going upward. Little wonky movement at the end. X out the wonky movement. That's usually incomplete data or some other issue. And you can see here a dramatic turnaround. So things are starting to go up. Almost looks like a backwards fishing hook. So that is something we will have to keep an eye on. Zooming out here, we can see here the only area that has medium COVID is in the Northeast at this time. Everywhere else is in the low category when it comes to COVID. Coming down here to Florida, we do see Northeast St. Petersburg is also coming up in the red at this time. Oh my, or in the orange, I should say, and that's high. And oh yes, rapid rise for COVID at this wastewater site, 89,000 population, and let's continue on. Anywhere else that is coming up concerning for COVID? Let's go up here. What is going on up here in Fremont, California? Let's take a look at this way. And you can see here there is a rapid rise going on for COVID at this time. 229,476 population, and COVID is high and rapidly rising. I do wonder, is anything else rapidly rising there? EVD68, yeah, that's seen quite the rise. But again, this is concerning. But you take a look here. You see there's one of those wonky movements at the end. But prior to that, take a look here. There have been several updates. We'll have to see. This one could get corrected, and maybe the rise won't be as harsh. Looking to see if we see any other really high wastewater sites. We are seeing a couple up here in the Northeast. Lewiston, Maine. Yeah, COVID is high and starting to rise there as well. Not good, because Maine, they will see their fair share of people coming up for Memorial Day weekend. Taking a look at Massachusetts, this is Millbury, this is Worcester County, 250,000 population, and it's listed at high, but it is dropping at this time. And let's go somewhere up into the Midwest. We'll take a look at Jackson, Michigan, and we can see here COVID is listed at medium, and it is dropping at this time. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Sunday edition of the Virus Update. If you enjoyed this update, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. I will see everyone again tomorrow. Until I see you again tomorrow, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic Sunday. Thanks for watching.